1 year ago, I was overweight. I was pre-diabetic. I had a ton of hormonal acne. My labs were abnormal and had been for several years prior. I had chronic bloating. My anxiety was worsening. And basically, I knew that I had to do something about my life because it wasn't getting any better. These are the surprising things that I learned over this 1 year journey that I had wished I'd known prior to really motivate me and to get me in the right mindset. You can be the most motivated person and still be super lazy, if that makes sense. If you are in the wrong environment, it changes everything. And so number one is your environment matters more than your motivation. When I was living in Vegas, I had so much space. I had an office, I had a home gym, I had space in my backyard to do yoga in the sun and lay out whenever I wanted to. I had a staircase that I could run up and down. Basically, I was not using my home to the best of my ability. I turned my home into an environment where I knew that I would wake up every day and be excited to work out, to meditate, to be creative. You need to make use of the environment that you are in if you are unable to change it. I completely redid my fridge, my pantry. I stocked it only with whole foods, less sugar, more fiber, and things that I actually enjoyed eating that were healthy. I started to make better choices with my mornings. My husband and I take care of our toddler, by ourselves right now. But at the time, he would also help him get up in the morning, get him dressed, get him ready for the day, feed him breakfast. And in that time, in that sacred time that I had to myself in the mornings, I always made sure that one, I was getting enough sleep so that I could wake up in the morning and start my day correctly. I would meditate in the morning, really focus on centering myself and getting my mindset ready for the day. And so really take the time to alter your environment as best as you can so that you have no other option but to take care of yourself. Even if it's just a little corner in your house that you can have all to yourself. It is so important to make sure that your environment matches the person that you want to be. I also used to think that I just needed more discipline. And while that may be true, I realized that regulating my nervous system came first and foremost before discipline. What I really needed was to get my nervous system out of a constant fight or flight mode. This is why I always felt anxious. I had to rethink my wellness routines, my morning routines, my micro habits that I was doing on autopilot, such as waking up next to my phone and going on my phone first thing in the morning. That was a huge thing for me because I have ADHD, so it's really, really easy for things like technology to hack my dopamine levels and be constantly in this state of I need more. And so not waking up next to my phone has been a game changer for me. In the morning, treat your mornings with respect by not sleeping next to your phone. I swear it is the best life hack ever. I also realized that I just needed to let my mind rest. Do more breath work. Read books that were about inner work and fixing the relationships, the dynamics in my relationships that I've had in my life. What is not working for me and what is? Are certain relationships draining me? Do I need to spend less time with other people who do drain me and more time with myself and the people that I love? Sometimes discipline isn't about pushing yourself harder and harder. Sometimes it's just recognizing that you need to give yourself space, the capacity to even show up in this world. Now moving on to more physical advice, starting with my diet. Protein changed everything for me, but not in the way that I thought. Prior to learning all about how I could lose weight safely as a woman without the help of medications and constant doctor visits, I found that one of the best ways to lose weight quickly is to focus on building your meals around protein, high quality protein. And I wasn't carnivore or anything, so I was still eating a balanced diet full of other, fruits and veggies, lots of fiber, lots of good fats. But the thing that made me most satiated, not lots of carbs and fiber, just prioritizing protein. This has been one of my favorite go-to high protein snacks, or like meals if you would. This is filled with organic smoked turkey breast with arugula, Roma tomatoes, pepperoncinis, a little bit of light cheese spread, and then a hero tortilla. These are the tortillas that I get. They're low carb and high protein and not made with any seed oils. It has 7 grams of protein, which is great for a tortilla. And this whole meal has at least 25 grams of protein with the tortilla, with the cashews, and then obviously the turkey. But this has been like my go-to meal. I didn't start to eat a lot of protein just for muscle. I started doing it for my hormones and for my blood sugar regulation. Because like I said, I was pre-diabetic. And one of the best ways to control your hunger is to eat tons of protein. Protein is the building block of muscular and physiological health, including for your brain. And I later soon found out that the reason for a lot of my blood sugar problems and my bloating problems was because I wasn't prioritizing enough protein in my diet. So when you start to build your plate at every single meal, whether that be 2 meals a day with a snack, or you eat 3 to 4 times a day with no snacks, building your plate around protein will change everything for you. Believe me. One of the best advice that I took was to try to get at least 30 grams of protein at every single meal. That way you know that you're at least at 90 grams by the end of the day. Most adults weigh over 100 pounds. If your goal is to lose weight, eating at least the amount that you weigh in grams is going to get you quick results. This is crazy, but I did not know this until last year. But your body knows when to stop eating protein. It knows when you are satiated and you've had enough. And protein is the easiest way to get full quickly because it signals to your brain through your gut that you have the building blocks of nutrients that you need to fulfill you until the next meal or for the rest of the day. It is so easy to have energy and fullness at every meal. And that is what is most important if you want to lose weight and get healthier. And speaking of chronic bloating and fatigue during the day, tracking your symptoms matters more than tracking your calories. Calorie counting is so overrated because if you are hitting your goals, your protein goals, your fat goals, and you're eating a whole food diet that is mostly organic, that is extremely nutrient dense, that isn't packaged in a supermarket, more than likely your body is getting what it needs. And yes, you do need to be in a calorie deficit if you're trying to lose weight. But like I said, if you are prioritizing healthy food full of good protein, micro and macronutrients, electrolytes, minerals, getting supplements in that meet all of your body's basic energy requirements to produce ATP at the cellular level, it is going to be way more easier. I'm going to be honest, I did not count calories at all this past year. And that was because of the diet that I chose to sustain myself with. Give it a few months for your body to get used to all of these good natural organic foods, and you will see a huge difference in the way that you think about food, in the way that you feel towards different foods, and the way that your body response. I had acne because I was eating a lot of sugar. That is a symptom of hormonal imbalance. And it started with my prediabetes because I learned that insulin resistance causes higher testosterone in women specifically. And with higher testosterone comes more acne, keratosis pilaris on the back of my arms. It was extremely bad for my entire adult life. I had keratosis pilaris all the way from my elbow up to my upper arm. Ever since this health journey, I have gotten rid of it completely and it has not flared up at all, which is a miracle. Anyways, I could go on about food and protein and what our bodies are designed to eat. What you choose to believe about yourself sets the tone for your habits. I hope you heard that clearly, because the moment I stopped telling myself that I don't deserve to have the body that I want and started to identify as someone who starts to take care of their self no matter what, my habits just followed. When you start to change your identity, your belief about yourself, all of your choices will always align without constantly having that mental battle. Are you actually ready to take care of yourself? Or are you still telling yourself that you don't deserve to? The reason why you might still have hesitancy to take control of your health is because you still identify with maybe a certain thing that you grew up knowing. Maybe your family just has these cultural values that is just hard to unlearn, and I fully understand that coming from a Filipino family who, in their culture, they don't really value mental health or, exercising as much. I no longer wanted to identify with that type of culture of not prioritizing my nervous system and my physical health. And so every time that I would go to family functions or if I was around my parents, it drained me, and I knew that I didn't want to identify as that type of person anymore. I was no longer putting myself in positions where I knew that I would fall into older habits that I grew up with. A year ago, I was at my heaviest mentally and physically. And fast forward to now, it's not that I am perfect in this journey. In fact, I know I am not, because I know that consistency over the long haul will get me faster to where I need to be, rather than pushing myself to my limits to always strive for perfection when that isn't possible or sustainable. So it is not that I'm perfect, it's more so that I trust myself over and over and over, because I have built these habits over the last year to get me to a place where I know that I will follow through no matter where I might slip up. And honestly, that is the real win in this whole journey. Not that my labs are normal. That is a huge win, but it's not in the numbers or what weight I am today or the fact that I just feel mentally more clear. Those are all just bonuses in the bigger picture of I know that I can trust myself to keep those promises over the long haul. A year might not be a very long time to some people, but to me, keeping up this vision for myself for a year now is a huge deal. And I know that you guys can get there too. Think of yourself a year from now and where you want to be, and write it down, say it to yourself every single day, and even put it on a vision board. I have ideas over here that you can watch and way more videos related to this topic. Comment below what habit that you would love to keep in this next year. I would love to keep you accountable. And subscribe if you haven't joined my community yet. I would love to be that person for you. Go activate your authenticity like I know you can. And I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.